Hi guys, my name is Christina and welcome to my channel. And in today's video I wanted to talk to you about things that no one tells you about doing art as a job. Since I do a combination of videos on my channel, both of like how to draw comics, teaching you how to draw, showing you how I'm doing it, and also I'm talking about being an artist for a living and having a career as an artist. So I decided to have this video for you, kind of telling you what it's really like of being an artist for a living and having art as your career. Not like the whole thing, but basically things that you might have not thought about. I'm gonna talk about negative things first and then positive things after. They're both to this, and then you can decide if art as a career is something for you, because it's not for everybody. So without further ado, let's get into negative things about career as an artist. So the first thing is pretty major. I would say it's the hardest pill to swallow if you want to enter the working field as an artist. That might be a deal breaker for most of the artists. And it also might be a deal breaker for you. Basically, it is not about your artistic vision. It's about artistic vision of your client. It's about artistic vision of your supervisor. It's about artistic vision of a supervisor, of your supervisor, of a manager, of a producer, of a director, of whatever fields you're working on. It's not about your vision most of the time. There are exceptions, I'm gonna mention them later, but basically it's not about your vision at all. You are not the one who is making creative decisions, and you're not there to make creative decisions. You're not there to tell what you think is gonna be the best way, what you think is gonna be the most beautiful, what you think is the better idea. No, this is not why you're here. You are here to basically rent out your skills and your way of transmitting ideas into visual medium, into like art form. You're basically renting your hands and your skills out to people whose vision is important in this case. The client or manager or your supervisor of a supervisor of a supervisor. Somebody would come in and say, hey, this is what I want, this is kind of what I envision, I kind of want this feel, I kind of want this effect, I want this to go this way, and you're supposed to translate it into actual result. The vision is not yours. You are just translating this vision into an art form that can be used later on. And this is very important to remember, because every time I see people who I know are not ready and they're not meant to do art as a job, is the ones who are really hurt by this fact and who try still to push their agenda and their vision into their projects. It's gonna end badly. This is not what you're there for, and it's just gonna ruin your career and ruin your mood, your mental health, all of that. Sometimes though, it is your vision, but this is only happens in several cases. First of all, if you really made it high up and you were climbing the career ladder, you were proving what you are doing your very best, and then you got to the top, and now you are there because your creative vision is important and special, and that made you go this far in the career and you build your reputation, and that's why you are now the one who can tell the vision. For example, take the pinnacle of artistic vision type of people. It's like visionary like Miyazaki or James Cameron. This is type of people who are artists and whose vision, like they just build their career and now they are the one projecting their vision. They're not answering to any other client, they're not answering to anyone above them. People are there for their vision only. But you're gonna climb really hard and really high and just work your way there, and this is where I want to go, but basically you have to earn this position. Another one happens if you're a freelancer. In certain types of freelance, it's kind of similar to what I just said, but in a very small, teeny tiny scale. For example, you have a certain type of freelance that you do, a certain style, whatnot, and the client finds you because of your style, because exactly of type of thing that you do, and that's why there will be more like do you type of thing, and they will allow you to do it in your own style and suggest your own vision and stuff like that, just because they literally hired you because of your artistic vision and style. And the same kind of happens when you're like certain, for example, designer, for example, interior designer, and somebody knows your particular style and they hire you for you to bring this particular style into their life, their space or whatever. But again, you still gotta match their vision. So it's a little bit like a lower scale of that. It's still the client who is the boss. The client is the boss and their opinion is the best opinion. And even sometimes it's like, not that great. You gotta deal with that and suck it up and do it and do the best you can with your skills. So yeah, this is the first con. The second negative thing is art is not objective, and then it is harder to be objective at your work environment with your work. So it's covers all the layers. It's harder to tell who is the better worker. It's harder to tell who is the worst worker, who is trying hard, who is not trying hard. Like, it's not as clear cut. It's not like you can actually look at the amount of job done and the amount of time done. It sometimes varies, like, look, this took so much time, but this is the quality that it has, or this is really beautiful, but it really missed the mark with the client notes. All of that nuance. And sometimes, for example, your supervisor really loves what you did, but the client totally hates it and thinks it's disgusting, and your supervisor will be panicking and putting another artist on the project. It's that type of thing. A non-objectivity of art gonna bleed into areas of your work life, and it might be harder to get promoted. It might be easier to get, I don't know, not promoted, because it's harder to tell, hey, look, I objectively did this and this and I did it good. And it will be harder for a supervisor to be like, hey, you're sucking at this and this and this. It's harder, and sometimes people gonna be making decisions about you based on very subjective things, because it's just the nature of things. Unfortunately, art is subjective, and unfortunately it's gonna make everything around it subjective. So you're gonna be prepared for it. Just keep it cool and no, it's not about you, it's about the nature of art. Another negative point is that kind of comes hand in hand with the previous one. It's sort of guessing game, because your client will not be able to express exactly what you need to draw or matte paint, as I do, or concept art for, or do any type of visuals. It will be harder to explain exactly what, because exactly what is the result, right? So everything has this edge of being a guessing game a little bit. So your client will say something and then you will interpret a certain way and try to guess what they meant. If it's like a bigger company, the client would say something, your supervisor would interpret this, tell the task to you, you will interpret what your supervisor kind of meant. There will be a lot of that type of thing, and sometimes we really have the situation when we don't know what client wants, and we just try our best and give them options. Sometimes you're really vibing with the client, sometimes you really don't vibe with the client, sometimes you really don't get it, and they say one word, you imagine it one way, and they all along imagine something completely different. So be prepared for stuff like this as well. Another negative aspect is that you're working with other artists, and there's a positive aspect of this also, but negative one is that some artists tend to be very emotional people, some artists tend to be very complex people. It comes like with certain personality. Some artists have major egos, some artists very emotional people, they can get really hurt if you say something about their work, even though it's work environment, and you should be able to say, hey, this is the problem here. People get hurt, people get triggered, people take it personally, people have their hearts broken, they starting to get attitude, they think you have something against them, and it's like all in all, and it can escalate a lot of drama very easily. Emotions can run really high, people can go cry in washrooms, and people can, you know, just have crazy attitude the whole day. Things like this can totally happen, just because that's what happens when you gather a lot of creative people together and put them in situations where their work can be criticized, discussed, asked to be redone many times. And you know, sometimes you have to do tight schedules, and people are like getting anxious because they feel like they don't have the muse or something like this, and it's a little bit harder to pull out some creative idea on a deadline when it's not something that you can guarantee sometimes to work out really great. So yeah, it can be very stressful, it can get you in a lot of drama, a lot of emotions, all of that stuff. Keep that in mind. Another thing that is negative is that you gotta learn to be detached from your artwork. That kind of like what I mentioned before, that can happen with working with a lot of artists. You don't want to be that artist though, you want to be a professional, and when you deliver your work, you want to really think about it as work, job assignment. You want to do your best, you want to deliver the best quality possibly can, but also you need to be detached. You don't need to think that this is my next masterpiece, this is the best thing I've ever done, I put my soul into this. No. Don't put your soul into this, put your care into this, put your skill into this, put your research, thought, everything. Don't get emotional about your work. Be cold-minded, be smart, chilled, and don't get attached, because also you're always gonna get notes, you're always gonna be asked to redo things. Just do something and assume it's gonna be redone anytime. Just don't think about it as the final result. Don't think about it like, yes, I like it and it has to be this way. No. Remember point one, it's not about your vision. Forget it. It's not about your vision at all. People are gonna come in and they're gonna tell you what is terrible about it, and you you have to say, yeah, sure, of course, I get it, and do exactly what they want you to do instead. So it's really, you gotta learn to do it, or it's really not a viable career for you. It will be very difficult otherwise, and you will burn out, get mental breakdown, and it's going to be very difficult and you'll be majorly unhappy. So just keep that in mind, get detached. It's just work, be professional. Another negative aspect is that it can affect your personal art projects. For example, if you have art projects on the side and, for example, you're doing something similar at work, if you need to do it in a slightly different style, in a certain way, this kind of stuff can start bleeding in your personal project. For example, you can start adopting some style from work, or your actual personal project styles can start changing. Or ultimately what can happen, you have certain thing that you do at work and you get tired of this and you don't want to do it at home anymore. So my suggestion, my solution to the situation, that what I do, I choose my artworks to be slightly different from what I do personally at home. At home, I like doing actual painting. I do still painting as a freelance, but I try not to. Everything that I do for my job is still very artistic, very, very close related to painting, but it's slightly different, so I can still do creative job and really enjoy it, but I don't have to create this mess in my head and confuse the things. So that's personally my solution. For example, yeah, as I said, I do painting for my personal work, painting and writing. Writing I would never do for money as a job, by the way. This is a no-no. This is an area, it's like, I don't want to ever be told to redo something for my writing. I want to be the critic of this. It's just a very, I'm my own boss there. Nobody gets involved. That's why I know better than do it for money, you know, and do it like as a career, because as I mentioned before, I'm gonna get super pissed. So this is the thing that I do for my personal project. Painting is different level. I can do it for job as well, but it's slightly different. Like I do draw my comics for my personal projects at work. I would do concepts, would draw concepts, draw something different in some different style, and I would really enjoy it. But mostly I do my paintings. It's photoshopping and then creating textures for objects, creating backgrounds for scenes, or using 3D programs to kind of generate 3D backgrounds, all of that good stuff. And then I do filming, photography, all of that's graphic design on the side. So it's, because you can see it's slightly different, but still very closely related and pretty creative, and I have fun, but it doesn't get involved with my personal projects. And this is what I recommend you do. It's up to you, but I'm just saying it can get mixed. You might like it, you might not like it. And the last con that I want to mention is that in the job like this, the word talent comes into play. It just sneaks in, and I absolutely hate the term talent. I hate the term talented, and I made a whole video about this explaining why. But in short, I don't think talent exists. People very easily will use the word talent. They downplay the work the artist is actually doing that nobody's seeing. I believe the talent is nothing more than when you're actually really, really passionate about something, passionate to the degree that you do it all the time. You do it in your mind, like you're thinking about, if you're like talented in painting, like you think about painting in your mind, you observe things and you think, oh, how can I paint you? You remember colors, you pay attention to how leaves are to draw them later. You watch all the videos, or when you see images that somebody else painted, you study it, you learn them. So it's like a lot of your focus is there. You pay so much attention, you do so much homework. So when you actually start, you know, painting, you have better progress than other people because you pay so much attention, and you also usually do it a lot at home. If you're so passionate, you do extra curriculum like no tomorrow, and that's why you're better. And that's why it seems to other people that you do it better, do it easier, or that you catch things easier, so you learn faster. It's because you learn so much on your own and you do a lot of extra work, and people don't see that because you don't complain, because you love doing it. So to me, this is what talent is. And I get really annoyed when, for example, in work field, people say, oh, you're just talented. And a lot of the time it has this underlying feeling of you not working hard enough, or things get like go easy to you. So people would not say like somebody's talented to think, oh, immediately great, they need to, you know, get promoted, get support, you know, we need to use this person, they're great. It's mixed feeling that people have. They might be like, yeah, they're doing great jobs, let's get them job to do, of course they're a great asset for us, but at the same time they might have this feeling, but I wish I would be like this, I wish that would be that easy for me. It's just easier for them, they may be not a hard worker. So I actually encountered that a lot, and it's like it's devastating, because you are, if you're talented, you are. If you doing something faster, better, like it's easier for you in this moment when you're doing it, it's not because you're talented, it's because you're working harder. You should be amended for it. And yeah, this is kind of like, I don't like it being said about other people. I don't like it being said about me. I don't like things like that. And to me, it's definitely a con, because to me, it's just if people do it better faster, they just do it better and faster. There's no magical cheating that they're using. So yeah, so this is my gist on this, but as I said, I have a video about this. But yeah, this is like this talent talk thing. Maybe jealousy or maybe resentment comes in, and just as important to know that if person is doing something better and faster, they're just working harder. You can do too. You can achieve that, no problems. So yeah. And now, after I talk trash about my job, about my career and basically artist job overall, I want to talk about good things. And there are good things, and just I would say there are good and bad things. It's equal. And it's up to you to choose if one is more important than the other. So first good thing is that it's a little random, but bear with me. I like this. To me, it's a pro. I like this. I think it's pretty fun. Is that because, again, you're working with other artists, usually artistic environment, they're very different. There is usually no dress code. There is no limitation on the way you do your hair, your makeup. I saw so many different people in artistic places. They dye their hair different color every day. They wear whatever the hell they want. If anything, I'm kidding. But like, it's, you know, sometimes the clothes that would be considered crazy inappropriate for any other field, but they just do whatever they want. And they don't care. They have tattoos everywhere. They can do anything and it doesn't matter. Or they can come to work in pajamas with unicorns. I actually did that because why not? I had cool pajamas with unicorns. You can do literally anything, the way you know, dress, the way it's your appearance. Nobody cares. Nobody cares at all. People are gonna think it's cool. For example, at my job, I had witnessed the conversation of two girls who were discussing how to dye hair purple really well. And this is amazing. I prefer that than, you know, anything else, because, for example, I know that baristas in Starbucks are not allowed to do their nails. They cannot put nail polish. What? That's so restrictive. Makes me, Eastern European, really freak out. But yeah, basically, that's amazing thing. It's like freedom of self-expression, and everybody's supportive about this, and other people self-expressing themselves. It's fun stuff. So that's a great stuff about working like this. So keep it in mind. Another pro is just kind of continuation of that one. It's not about just dress code and something. You're working with the people who are so creative, and all of those people are usually so fun, so interesting, so just, they also like very expressive, and you can be whoever you want to be. You're gonna be like the weirdest weirdo in the entire world, and you will fit right in. You can do weird games with your coworkers. I remember when we had a power outage, I took Star Wars Jedi swords from a friend on another desk, and I was on hoverboard, just hoverboarding with those swords and pretending they're my wings, and everybody thought it was just fine. And it's just amazing. Like at our work, some people sometimes bring dogs at work. It's really fun. Like in our work, like people, you just pass by the rows of chairs and desks, and you see people have crazy toys, like different swords, different bows, life-size stuff. One guy has like a live statue of someone from Star Wars. Like, so it's really fun, and you gonna feel right at home, and you're gonna feel, you know, you're not gonna feel like that kid in school when everybody's kind of cool kid and you're that artistic kid. No, everybody's an artistic kid. You can do whatever the hell you want, and you can have crazy jokes, crazy funs, and it's amazing. You can make the best friends of your entire life, and that's just amazing environment to be in. So that's another pro, and I think it's a big one. Another pro is that you'll meet people who really care about their work. You will meet a lot of those people. You'll meet a lot who really care about their day job. They really give a shit, and they really care a lot, and they want it to be done right, well, because they're artists. And even though you kind of have to be detached from your art, you still care, and you will still deliver good stuff, and you will see a lot of people with passion around you. This is amazing to see people around you who are passionate about their work, passionate about their career, and so passionate about what they do. And that's just amazing. And if you don't see that, you definitely see them having some side projects, what they're very passionate about, and you will be blown away by the talent of those people. And again, I use the word talent, but I mean like how much work those people are putting in and how much they achieve. In my field, I meet a lot of musicians that create beautiful music. They sing like angels. God damn, I cannot do a note, but those people are just like so talented. A lot of people do VFX on the side in their spare time. A lot of people do their short films, and they have all this filming gear, and it's so beautiful, and it's just amazing. It's just every person is just a treasure of projects and talents, and I don't know, it's so gorgeous, and this is something I truly love of working as an artist in an artistic environment, and this is wonderful, and I'm sure if you're an artist you will love it as well. And the next pro and the last one that I want to mention in this video is that working as an artist will bring you fulfillment in life that a lot of people, to be honest, don't have. A lot of people think about their job like 9 to 5, you're gonna go through it, it's job, do it to pay the bills. But if you're an artist and you're an artistic job and you are like in a company that supports you, right, your life would feel like you have a purpose. Some people call it workaholic, but it's like you will care. So if you come home, sometimes you will think about your project and you will do something for it. You will keep something in mind. You will do this extra curriculum. And when you go to work and when you deliver something in work, the project is accepted, you will feel very satisfied. And it's something that I think is important to have in your day job. Something that we do for such a big amount of time in our life is important to be fulfilled, feel happy and enjoy it. And because otherwise your life can very easily be very miserable. So that is a major pro. It's just priceless stuff that you get when you're an artist and you work as an artist. It's just amazing. I highly recommend it to you. If the cons didn't scare you away, this is the pro that makes it all worth it. So yeah, this is what I want to end this video with, and thank you so much guys for watching. I hope this video can help you with this pros and cons situation, and let me know if you are indeed an artist and have artistic career. I know most of my viewers are artists of some sort, and I want to see what is your day job and what you're doing for a living, and just let me know, leave a comment down below, and I'm really happy that you stopped by to watch this, and thank you so much guys, and I'm gonna see you in my next video. Thank you guys.